CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. Hope you all had a happy Halloween. I know I did. Loved the costumes from some of the players yesterday. Here we got Derek Lively dressed up with the Jurassic Park theme. We got Daniel Gafford dressed as Inspector Go-Go Gadget. And of course, we got Victor Wembanyama here. This costume, man, I'm really shocked. Like I would trip if I was walking in this thing. Just that part of it impresses me more than the actual costume itself. Just the fact that he was able to make his way down the hallway here without tripping up. Cool costume from Wembanyama, so shout out to him. And very quickly, before we get into the content of today's video, I did want to give you all a thank you. We're up to 200 subscribers now. We reached this goal, I think, a couple days ago. I forgot to mention it in yesterday's video. So thank you to all who have been watching, enjoying the content. Stick around because we're going to be coming out with daily videos, continuing on throughout the season with more discussion. So thank you guys for the support. And if you haven't already, check out some of the other videos and consider subscribing. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So the Houston Rockets and Dallas Mavericks game yesterday, you look at the score here and you would think, it must have been a really close game down to the wire and Rockets just pulled away. That is far from the truth. In fact, this game felt like it was over, I would say, second quarter, if not early third quarter. I thought, Mavs are done. They got their loss for the week. I thought that the game versus the Timberwolves on Tuesday was just setting them up for failure and going to be a loss because, back-to-back games. They played in Dallas the night before. They played in Minnesota less than 24 hours later on national TV. Western Conference Finals rematch. I'm like, Mavs are probably going to lose this one. They ended up winning that game, though. And then they come out with a big stinker on Halloween night in Dallas against the Rockets here. Now, Kyrie was playing absolutely outstanding. But the rest of the players, including Luka, not so hot for most of the game. Not until the very end. As you can see, Luka's percentages did pick up at the end of the game there, shooting 48% from the field. But Clay had a stinker with 2 of 9 from 3. Spencer Dinwiddie, 0 of 5 from the field. But that being said, the fourth quarter, huge comeback. And part of the problem, too, was players getting into foul trouble. And, I could sit here and, blame Tony Brothers, the referee, for the reason as to why they got those fouls. But I think there's a little bit of sloppiness from the Mavs as well. Gafford, 4 fouls. Lively had 4 fouls in the third. He picked up a 5th in the fourth quarter, I think. Luka played almost the entire fourth quarter, I think, with 5 fouls. It was insane that they were even able to get this game to be close again. So I just, a lot of people look at this and say, it's a loss, this sucks, yada yada. There's a lot of good, positive things to take away from this game as a Mavs fan. It just shows that this team with its new acquisitions has fight in it still. Last year we saw a lot of that fight in the playoffs, being down by 20 plus and able to come back and win games. And this proves that this roster is still going to be able to put up a good fight even when they're down, even when they're struggling. So that's got me really excited. PJ Washington, huge defense in the fourth quarter. Obviously, it's showing up in the box score, but there's some aspects of the game that did not show up in the box score as well. Just incredible interior defense from PJ Washington. You love to see it as a Mavs fan. Kyrie just doing Kyrie things. He had the third quarter buzzer beater fading away in the corner towards the Mavs bench. Just all around, a lot of positivity to bring out of this game, even with the loss. One thing that I am concerned about, though, if you remember from the Mavs playoff run last year, Luka was dealing with some knee injury issues. He had even commented that if it was regular season, he would not be playing through it. And I did not notice this during the game last night, but I saw this morning on the Mavericks subreddit. Look, all of the supposed doctors of Reddit are just going off in the comments section of this post, saying how, it's not that big a deal, or, he should be concerned about it. Okay, my take on it is, and I'm not a medical expert either, but do we see any other players' knees actively bleeding every single game? And I'm talking not just in this game, but I'm talking like superstars on other teams. No, we don't. We don't see that at all. So in that regard, the severity of the injury is up for debate. But the fact that his knees are still bleeding, I'm a bit worried. Definitely a bit worried. And honestly, I would be okay if Luka just decided to sit for like 20 games, heal up, and be ready for the playoffs in the spring, because this cannot keep happening. I feel like long term, even if it's not a serious, or a highly severe injury, so to speak, that can't be good for longevity. So I don't know. I'm a little concerned, guys. Just a bit concerned. You let me know what you think in the comments, but this is not good, and it may or may not be affecting his play. At the worst or at the least, it's probably causing him some pain. At worst, it's actually restricting movement. Obviously, we've noticed Luka's been moving a whole lot slower. If you look at highlights from like the 2020 bubble in that playoff series versus the Clippers, Luka's so quick. He's so fast. Now and part of it, is probably due to added weight, but he is just so slow out there. A good thing is his change of direction is still great, and he does have little quick spurts at times, but his overall speed is just way down. And maybe he figured he doesn't need to be that fast all the time to still be effective, but I don't know. I just think with these bleeding knees, there's probably something else going on that we don't know the full story. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. As far as the other games that went on last night, Halloween night, we need to talk about Milwaukee a little bit here. What in the world is going on in Milwaukee? Who poisoned the water supply? I mean, goodness. I don't know what Milwaukee management is thinking. Doc Rivers was a very suspicious hire from the get-go. Then they bring in Darvin Ham as an assistant. Could you have not brought on... Those are probably the two worst coaching options that are available on the market as far as head coaches that have a resume. And you brought both of them onto your coaching staff for your team. This is bad. I'm not even surprised, to be honest with you. But yeah, let me go ahead. We pulled up the standings here. The Bucks are now, it's early in the season, 5 games in, it's an 82-game season, but this is still bad. You got Dame and Giannis, and we're going to look at their opponents in a second too, because yes, it's the beginning of the season, but if you look at the strength of the schedule, it's embarrassing. They're sitting at the bottom of the conference with the Pistons and Raptors. Sixers get a pass because Paul George and Embiid are out. That's their two best players, so it is what it is there. But look at the Bucks' opponents here. Sixers, that's the one game they won. But again, the Sixers are missing their two best players. They lose to the Bulls at home. They lose to the Nets on the road. Celtics, you get a pass. It's the Celtics. And then they just lose to the Grizzlies now. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but these two losses, the Bulls and the Nets, there's no excuse. None at all, especially the Bulls game. At home, no excuse. Home opener. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Doc Rivers is going to find someone to play him at some point halfway through the season. And then the Bucks are going to end up firing him, and they're going to have 3 coaches on their payroll that don't actually coach the team anymore. This is just an all-time blunder by Milwaukee management. The downfall of this team ever since they won the championship a couple of years ago, or 3 years ago, it's just a sad sight to see for a small market team. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. I don't know. Milwaukee fans, I'm sorry. I really am. It's a sad sight to see. I don't know that this Bucks team is going to be able to turn it around, even with Middleton back. I don't expect a whole lot of change with them. But you never know. It is early in the season, but those are some weak opponents to have lost games to. Moving on, talking about a couple of the other games from last night. Spurs beating the Jazz in Utah, not really surprised. Suns, they were down against the Clippers for a little while. They end up winning this one by 6 in Inglewood. Good win by the Suns. And let's go ahead now and look. By the way, I do want to give kudos to the Rockets players. Mavs did show fight and come back, but the Rockets are no slouch team. I mean, Jabari Smith Jr., Dylan Brooks had some clutch shots. I think Amen Thompson had like a mid-range baseline jump shot that he made as well. So I just want to give my kudos to the Rockets. VanVleet had a pretty rough game, but kudos to the rest of the team. They played great. So good win by the Houston Rockets. Moving on to today's games, we're going to go ahead and do the predictions, and that'll be it for the video. Boston Celtics and Hornets. Actually wrote down all my predictions already ahead of recording this. I got the Celtics winning on the road against Charlotte here. Magic and Cavs. This one's kind of tough. I know Paolo's out for the Magic, but I just see these two teams as, well, I see the Magic as the better team, but with their best player out. I'm going to give this one to the Cavs at home. Knicks Pistons, going to definitely give it to the Knicks, although I do see a scenario in which Detroit wins this one because, again, they have some veteran NBA talent on their roster. They're not the same team as last year. They got Tobias Harris now, Tim Hardaway Jr. I'm probably going to be saying this a lot this season, but the Pistons are not nearly as bad as they were last year, in my opinion. Kings and Hawks. Kings are definitely the better player, although we are going to see the Kings and the Hawks finish in the same place in the standings for their respective conferences. I do think Sacramento is definitely the better team. Bulls and Nets. This one's kind of tough. The Nets, Bogdanovich is out. I think I saw that earlier. Bulls, they got Lonzo Ball's out and Zach LaVine's day-to-day. I'm going to lean towards the Nets just because they're at home and because they have a more healthy roster. Raptors and Lakers, I'm taking the Lakers on this one. Pacers and Pelicans, I'm taking the Pelicans at home despite their injury issues. Nuggets and Timberwolves rematch of the Western Conference semifinals. Nuggets are just so up and down, especially with Russell Westbrook. So inconsistent. It's just got to give it to Minnesota because of that. Thunder and Blazers, definitely give it to the Thunder. Now we will go ahead, compare to the FanDuel Sportsbook betting odds. I am not promoting sports gambling, encouraging it. I'm not partnered or affiliated with any company. Do it responsibly if you are going to do it. And I'm just sharing my opinion here. So, Charlotte is favored to win this game? Wait, what? This has to be... I must be reading this wrong. I can't believe this. Hold on. Who's injured for the Celtics? Al Horford is out. I mean, Porzingis has been out. But okay, so it must be because the Celtics don't have many bigs in rotation. They got Luke Cornett. And I guess Xavier Tillman's a bit undersized, but wow. I cannot believe that Charlotte's favored here. But I'm still giving this one to the Celtics. Cleveland favored over Orlando, not surprised there. Knicks favored over Pistons, not surprised. Kings favored over Hawks, not surprised. Brooklyn's barely favored, 1.5 is the line over the Bulls. The Raptors are favored to beat the Lakers. That's also kind of interesting to me. Pacers favored to beat the Pelicans, not surprised. Timberwolves favored and Thunder favored. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And click one of the videos on your screen right now for some more NBA discussion content.